Animation. So recently, a few weeks back, I did a poll between what you guys wanted between me doing a video on the problems of stick nose animation, animators, and advice for those starting out animation. So this video would basically cover up a lot of ideas for different type of animations to begin with, although this is advice for that ties with every type of animation styles, and I think it works well for all stick nose animators to expand our horizons. So this is just my take on things, and I hope it helps you guys. So I hope you guys take this to heart, so that you can bring the best. So the first thing I want to lay out is, why did you choose animation? Animation, it's about the expression of life through motion. It's about showing off the most classic, most gorgeous thing about life. It's not necessarily about fightings that you're seeing, and it's just about expressing something. Doesn't matter how complicated, doesn't matter how simple. It can be frustrating, it can be frustrating, like those times where you imagine this and you just quick. And because of that is why we have a lot of small animators or people that are starting out experiencing frustration because they couldn't meet up to bar to the certain type of animation they expect, especially if it's towards the pros that inspire them. We are all trying to learn something. It's a craft that trains itself over time, and it's what breeds up something I call the pedestal mindset. It's kind of like a mindset that basically affects your animation and the quality of your work because you are not up to standard. And that advice is throw away that mindset. It doesn't really help you much. All it does is give you motivation, but all it does is make you compare, and comparison is the worst problem as an animator that you could have. It doesn't matter how cool this animation look, if you put these people above you and not use it to improve yourself, you will not grow. I don't know why it happens to a lot of people, because they want this type of animation and they are not able to reach up to that standard, and because of that they belittle their work or aren't strong enough to encourage themselves on their work and end up disappointing themselves and end up quitting. But my advice is that you throw away that mindset. It helps nobody. It never helps anyone. Another thing that everyone should take in note is to consume everything. Now, when it comes to learning animation, I see a lot of people who are actually starting out who say they want to chase a particular type of style. Since a lot of us are stick nose animators, we want to be the best in that style of animation, and because of that, most people that I met watch only stick figure animations or stick nose animation, which is a terrible way of actually improving in any sense, because it doesn't actually help. Because there are so many types of every style of animation gives you a sense of recognition. So when it comes to a certain type of style, like for example I've seen a lot of people that are stick nose animators like me, who only watch stick nose animation only, and when you ask them why they are doing that, they say because it's stick notes. I'm learning about stick figures, so I'm only going to watch that. And I've said before, it's a terrible way of developing yourself. If you want the best for yourself, then you have to watch as many shows and as many styles as possible. Either you are a fan of them or not, every type of style shows you a sense of the beauty of what each of them are capable of. In 2D, you see a lot of creativity, which is actually which is one of the most prominent ones. You see gorgeous animation, incredible artworks and so on. And under 2D we have stick nose animations and stuff. So you get to see a lot of creative things go on in 2D animation. 3D, you learn about character models, you learn about the beauty of posing, the beauty of posing. You learn about camera space, you learn about body mechanics, you learn about how to realistically use physics. You learn about things like follow through stands more prominent in those type of works because they are animating realistically in a sense. And you have pixel animation, which shows some of the most gorgeous backgrounds I've seen and some of the best visual storytellings, like Sanabi, which is a game I watched one time, which is an incredible showcase of how good pixel animation is. Stop motion actually teaches an idea of framing because it's pictures that are played backwards at a certain frame rate. So you get to see the difference between 12 frames per second, and at least that's what I've learned from it so far. So, and when it comes to like the idea of watching a lot of shows, do not only watch good stuff. I think that one of the problems that actually affects a lot of animators is because we watch too many good stuff, and we think that because we watch too many good stuff because of that we intentionally do not learn to teach ourselves the right way to criticize or correct ourselves if we make mistakes. The only thing that comes to our mind is it doesn't look good enough. Now the thing is, when you watch animation, you have to watch both good stuff and bad stuff. And when I'm talking about bad stuff, I mean stuff that people are publicly saying that it is terribly animated, like what happened in One Punch Man season 2, or something like X-Arm stuff. So you can basically just learn about why it's bad. I think it teaches you mentally on the right way to criticize work and be able to see what you can actually do to improve your animation if you do not meet up to standard, but you still create desirable results. So I think that you should learn to watch not only the good stuff but always watch the bad stuff. So when you've watched a lot of good and bad stuff, you'll be able to find a clear margin on what is good and what is bad. Personally, I hate saying animation is bad. No animation is bad in my opinion. It's just either due to problems or lack of proper executions and stuff. But I think that for you to bring the best quality of your work, you have to show that you have experienced both good and bad stuff, and that way you will be incredibly flexible with your work. That means you'll be able to, since you've seen a lot of bad stuff and you've seen what are the problems in that, you'll be able to correct yourself in that sense, if you understand what I'm saying. And that way you'll be able to learn faster and improve yourself as an animator. The final thing is put yourself in the cut. Now, what I mean by this is when you watch an animation you like, or an animation that you admire, something like that, and you are incredibly impressed, take a time to gather as many short clips of animation and sit down and ask yourself a very important question, and that is, what would I do if I animated this? The thing about expressing yourself and being original and not be generic and stuff is for you to always put yourself in the cut and learn to personally put yourself inside the animation. Like if you were the one animating the project itself, then you ask the question, if I were to be the one to do these things, how would I do the cut? Now personally, it takes a lot of time to not pick the most random thing that pops into your head, because it takes a heavy use of thinking, because you don't pick I was the one directing this cut, or if I was the one who wants to give correction for this, what would make sense, what would be an important thing that would make this scene, in my opinion, pop off better than it already does. So that way you take time to learn how you would do these cuts and not be incredibly generic with yourself. And I think it's something that applies to also what I've said in the beginning of the video, that you should stop comparing yourself, because I think when you do that, because a lot of the times when you do this type of criticism, you and people kind of like compare, or do stuff like that. It actually happens to everyone, not only some people, because it's very easy to compare yourself to a lot of things. So when you see a good cut, good animation, whatever it is, because every single cut that is good can be made better, it doesn't matter you. And for that, you have to have been heavily doing the first few parts I've been mentioning before. You have to be able to have a wide array of animations you've watched, a wide array of things you've experienced, things like that, so you can be able to effectively do incredibly well done criticisms on animations you've already watched, or animations you want to personally learn from. So that way you live a life, you be able to balance what you want and give incredibly well done criticisms in that aspect. So my advice is, or when time you see an animation that is good, or you take time to want to personally study one, always, when you've taken time to appreciate the work and think about what is good, what didn't work well with the scene, take time to think that if I were to be the one to animate this, how would I do that? How would I approach this cut? Should this be a little slower? Should this take a little more time? In future videos, I will actually personally start doing this type of things, so that I can basically explain more. So I'll basically, maybe one time later in the future, I'll talk about style, context, and execution, which are my big threes of what makes well done animation, in my opinion. So I think that is going to help us and you guys, help me and you guys approach animation the slightest, at least a bit better from now. So yeah, that basically sums up my tips for you guys. There are a lot of things that I wish to say, but my editors kind of getting tired of this. So I'm going to just wrap it up here. Number one, when you put people that are better than you above you, use it to prove yourself that you can be better too. And do not underestimate yourself or undervalue yourself, because animation is a competitive field. Everybody is striving to show their own sense of originality, creativity, and stuff. So the best thing to do is just walk your own path. You are not chasing anyone, nobody's chasing you, everybody's doing their own thing. So you do yours, and do not chase yourself, do not force yourself to be fast, to learn more than you can, more than you can. So yeah, if you like this video, like, subscribe, and follow me. I'll basically do more videos that can help you guys in the future. I also want to grow with you guys. I'm not pro too, I'm also learning. So yeah, thank you and have a good one. In the meanwhile, just enjoy these several clips of animation till the video fades out. Till next time.